Hey guys, this is Robert with RC1 Hobbies, and this video is going to be about charging your LiPo battery versus charging your nickel metal hydride battery with a smart charger. In this case, I have a high-tech four times charger. I can charge 4 batteries at one time. But don't let that confuse you. We're just focused on one of the LCD displays, but we're just giving you a wide angle view because we're going to practice doing a LiPo and a nickel metal hydride. And just for those that are beginners, how do you tell the difference? You read the label on the battery. It says right here, lithium polymer battery. So lithium is the long term. LiPo is the short term. So lithium polymer battery is a LiPo battery. In this case, we have a 14.8 volt. And what does that mean? It means a 4S. If you look up here, it has 4S 5200-50S. So if you do 3.7 times 4, that gives you 14.8. If you had a 7.4 volt battery, lithium or LiPo, that would be a 2 cell or 2S. If you have 11.1, that would be a 3 cell or 3S. So in this case, we have a 14.8 volt 4S lithium or LiPo battery. In this case, we have a 5200 milliamp hour battery, MAH, milliamp hour. So 5200 milliamp hour, and we have a 50C discharge rate. So the C here in the large letter, 50C, is the amount of discharge. The larger the number here, the more rapid the discharge, the quicker your battery's going to run out. So in this particular case, 14.8 volt, 5200 milliamp hour. 4S 5200 milliamp. So on our other case, we have a Traxxas 8.4 volt. Well, how does that convert? Let's see. And the nickel metal hydride, they count cells by 1.2 volt. So if you take 1.2 and multiply it by 7, you get 8.4 volts. So another easy thing, you can count the cells here because it's got a clear package. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cell nickel metal hydride, NiMH, nickel metal hydride. This one is a 3000 milliamp hour. So in general circumstances, in general terms, 3000 milliamp hour is going to be your fuel tank or size of your battery. On this LiPo, we have a 5200 milliamp hour. So in theory, in general theory, this battery will last longer than the Traxxas 3000 milliamp battery. So with everything being equal, that would be the case. So we're going to start with the easy battery to charge. You want to charge a nickel metal hydride battery. We're going to use this window here. We're going to zoom in on it so we can see what I'm doing here and not get confused with all the other windows. So on most smart chargers, they're not all exactly the same, but in general they work the same. We have a battery type or stop button. We have a descending or inclining, or whatever the acronym converts to, forward and back, back, forward, scrolling, start or enter. So now we want to look at the screen. It says LiPo, so we're going to charge a nickel metal hydride. We don't want the LiPo setting, so we're going to push the battery type and keep pushing it till we get nickel metal hydride. Oh, there it is. Just for general information, I'm going to scroll all the way around so you can see the different type of batteries this charger can charge. Most smart chargers are similar. So we're going to keep hitting battery type, back to LiPo, nickel metal hydride. And we can see that lines up with this battery, nickel metal hydride. We hit enter. So now we're in that mode to charge a nickel metal hydride. Here it says nickel metal hydride charge. You can charge, you can do some other functions which are very helpful. Discharge, cycle, discharge, charge, charge. So you see 3 different options here for the nickel metal hydride. This can get complicated for the new person, but to keep it simple, we want to charge this, and we want to charge it at a certain amperage. So depending on your situation, you can charge it at a higher amperage or a lower amperage. In this case, let's practice the highest amperage that we want to do here. Now this is not Bible, this is just a safe way of charging. To rapidly charge this battery, the standard rule of thumb is the milliamp hour matches the amperage. So if we take the first number on our milliamp hour, it's a 3. We want to set by hit enter, and that light is blinking, so now we can move up to 3 amps. Hit enter. Now we have our current setting at 3 amps. Just for some information, Traxxas sells a 4 amp charger preset at 4 amps for this 3000 milliamp battery, 3000 milliamp hour battery. So they're saying they say it's okay to charge at 4 amps. I'm not a professional, so I can't tell you what's the highest amperage you can charge your nickel metal hydride, but obviously Traxxas says they're going 1 amp higher than your milliamp hour, so I would assume that's safe. So you want to charge your battery at the very fastest rate. They're saying apparently by this example of 3000 milliamp hour battery, you can charge it at 4 amps. I don't do that. Fastest I'll do is 3 amps usually, but if I don't have to be in a hurry, if I'm not in a hurry and I can charge this all night, I prefer to charge it at the lowest, almost the very lowest setting. So you can go all the way down to 0.1 amp or 1/10 of an amp. I usually go about a half an amp and charge it all night. So that usually takes about 2.5 hours, 3 hours to charge at that rate. But a good thing that I've found when I charge at that rate is I get a better, deeper charge that lasts longer when I'm running my truck. So that's something that we can do. So I'm going to start the process of charging this battery by getting the connector, the male connector, and plug it in to the battery, which is the female connector. And you can see the red here, we're going to line those up, plug it in. So now we're plugged in. We can pick our desired amperage, whether it be 0.1 amp, 0.5 amp, 3 amps, whatever you prefer. It's ready to charge. So we're going to hit start and hold. Start by pushing the button and hold. And that's what I'm going to do. It's checking the battery and it's charging. So this battery, it's been sitting around, so it looks like it has discharge. Usually you have a voltage reading here of the current voltage in your battery. At this time, this one is running at a 9.09 volts. Usually these 7-cell nickel metal hydrides run over 10 volts, sometimes 10.5. They vary some. Again, I'm not a professional. This is just based on my limited experience on charging these. When you charge them and let them sit around, they do lose energy. So these have been sitting around for a few weeks. So it has lost some voltage. You can see the voltage is climbing already. Maybe I can zoom in there. So here we are. This is a timer. This is the voltage in the battery. And so it's charging. It's good. Another option you can do with a battery that's been sitting around, I've had people bring in batteries that have been sitting around for 2 years. You can bring those batteries back to life. They're usually dead, and you try to charge them and they won't charge. One thing you can do, which is very a nice option with the smart charger. You can discharge the battery and recharge it. You can do that manually by discharging manually, or you can go to this nickel metal hydride cycle mode where you can discharge and charge in one setting. Now I like this mode because I can discharge and charge without monitoring and waiting for it to discharge and then hitting charge. And another cool feature that the smart chargers have is you can change this to charge and then discharge depending on what you want to do. Usually I'll do a discharge and charge, and you can also pick how many times you want to cycle that or do that process, up to 5 times on this charger. So you can do that, and it's good to do it many times with a totally dead battery. It's good to cycle it several times. 5 is not going to be a bad deal. It's probably going to help. So it won't hurt it at all. Charge it up, discharge it, or discharge it and charge it. Either way, you can pick that cycling number manually. So that's a nice feature to do when you have a dead battery that's been sitting around for months or years. Sometimes they've said that, I've heard it said that the battery won't come all the way back 100%, but it will be useful. You can use it. I don't know how long it'll last or how strong it'll be, but it's useful. You don't have to throw it away. So that's to be your own experience. Okay, so we're done with that. Again, charge, nickel metal hydride charge, manual setting of amperage input. So that's that. So now let's get back to a LiPo battery. So we're going to unplug our nickel metal hydride battery and go to our LiPo battery. So in this case, on a LiPo battery, they're very sensitive to voltage variances. So you have 2 plugs on a LiPo. Notice the difference. The nickel metal hydride has 1 plug. The lithium or the LiPo has these 2, the main plug and these other little wires. So these are important because an unbalanced LiPo battery is unstable and can catch fire. So these little wires hook up to each little cell inside the battery, and it keeps them balanced, so one cell is not weaker than the other. So how do we use this plug? Your smart charger will come with a balancer tab. This balancer tab has several plugs in it for a 2-cell, 3-cell, 4-cell, 5-cell, and a 6-cell. So in this case, we look at our battery. It's 14.8 volts or 4-cell. So 14.8 volts divided by 4 is that 3.7 volts. So we're going to plug this battery in by plugging both wires in. In this case, 4-cell, we got 2, 3, 4-cell. So we're going to plug that balancer tab in, and then we're going to plug in the main wire like so. Now LiPos are susceptible to fire, so I use a LiPo guard bag or a flame containment bag, a LiPo safe bag. This is what I use. So I put it inside the bag, close the bag. So here we go. We got the LiPo battery in the bag, so it catches fire. It'll be contained in this bag somewhat and not burn your house down. They recommend you not to leave your batteries unmonitored, like you should be around your battery. I don't do that. I use a LiPo bag, so I'm telling you, you should monitor your batteries and not leave it unattended, because if it catches fire, it can catch whatever's around it on fire. So that's good to do. The LiPo battery helps to prevent the fire from spreading. So now we want to go back to our smart charger and program it. So here we are again. We want to go back to LiPo mode. So we're going to push the battery type button until we get to LiPo. There we are. hit enter. So now we have LiPo charge. So we want to charge our battery. So we push these buttons. These are the amperage that we can charge our battery at. So in this case, we have a 5200 milliamp battery. Move this to 5200 or 5.2. Enter. So we're at a safe rate with our milliamp hour battery. So just for the fun of it, we're gonna check our cell. You can see the increments here: 3.7 for a 1 cell, 7.4 for a 2 cell, 11.1 for a 3 cell, 14.8 for 4 cell, 5 cell, and 6 cell. So we're set up for that. So we're at a 4 cell. So we're gonna push and hold just like we did with the nickel metal hydride. The smart charger is going to check our connection to see if it's good, and it's asking us, do we want to cancel what we're going to do by pushing stop, or do we want to confirm and start by hitting enter? We want to start, so we're going to push and hold again. There we go. So now it is charging. It's giving you voltage, the same thing here, 15 points. So this battery's probably around halfway or more, because I have it in storage. So we want to store our LiPos somewhere around 50%. A cool feature with some of the smart chargers, if you push the scroll button while everything's plugged in, you can get a readout of each cell. And we want our cells to be balanced. Remember, I was mentioning about keeping the battery cells balanced, and that'll give you an overall health of your battery. So if you look here, each cell broken down: 3.84, 3.82, and 3. It's moving up and down because it's charging. 3.83, 3.82. Then you can see that this is a balanced battery. It's a healthy battery. It's in good shape. So this is a good thing to monitor when you're charging. Look at the health of your battery. See something really bad after you fully charge it, you can recharge or discharge and recharge to get those cells balanced. So that's a great thing to do. So here I just scrolled back to the original home screen, total voltage, timer, and the amperage. Now we're going to stop this. So let's say you just ran your battery, your LiPo, and you ran it dead, or you ran it and you're not going to drive your vehicle or use your battery for over 3-4 days. This is not Bible. This is what I've heard on the conservative side. Some people say you can wait a week, but I choose 3 days or more. You want to put your battery in store mode, or somewhere around 50%, and try to balance those cells. In this case, my battery is already been in store mode. That's why you see the cells were really balanced very well. You can use a balance mode. So now we can scroll to another mode: fast charge. Don't need that. Storage mode. That's nice. So now we can actually, if your battery's going to sit around for more than 3 days, or your battery is totally discharged, and you want to put it away for a while, you want to use the storage mode. So that's what I do when I want to store my batteries. I put it in storage mode, and this will balance your battery and put it around 50%, somewhere in that vicinity, in a safe voltage. Because if you run your battery dead and you let it sit around, it's going to discharge or drain by sitting around. It's going to lose energy. And if you lose energy when the battery is low, you can damage your battery and it will not work again, and you'll be throwing your money away. So you want to make sure when you discharge your battery or run your battery all the way down in your model that you put it back on the battery charger relatively immediately, within a day, and put it at a storage mode or 50%, or even charge it up full if you're going to use it within 3-4 days. Just charge it back up again. That's a safe thing to do. So that's it for our video on how to charge your LiPo with a smart charger and your nickel metal hydride with a smart charger. It's very simple to do, and it's actually very healthy, and it can get overwhelming if you let it, but hopefully this video will help you out, and you can review it again and again to charge your batteries. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please leave a comment if this helped you or not. Like it and subscribe for more videos to come. And again, thanks for watching RC1 Hobbies, and until next time, we'll see you later.